Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please do me a favor, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know whenever I post video. I'm sorry that I'm like kind of leaning over. I've got my bunny. Because I got cramps like a mofo. Eve, why did you have to do this to us? Anyway, so I want to talk to you today about something that I feel like there is huge economic uncertainty that I see in the U.S. and in the U.K. And to a certain extent, that is reverberating into Australia and the European Union. You know, as I'm just sort of following this and tracking this, especially since I'm an American who lives in Europe, I feel like I see this with a lens that maybe everybody doesn't. And I'm just kind of sitting here on the one end laughing, watching people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, because the answer is so clear of why these countries are suffering economically. But what is it? Oh my God, what is it? It just seems like people could study political science for 10 years and just be so emotionally unintelligent and detached from the everyday life of just the everyday person that they couldn't see it. So, few things. I saw an article the other day from Australia, and they basically were just saying, what the heck is Australia going to do if Donald Trump is elected president in 2024? You know, that was essentially the tone of the article. Like, you know. Which, I mean, yes, you should be feeling that way. Everybody should be feeling that way, including Americans, because it will be a total catastrophe if this man is elected again. I want to remind you that of the $31 trillion deficit that the U.S. has, $8 trillion of that came from Donald Trump during his 4-year presidency. I want to remind you that over the past, I think, since 2002, is it 2002? I think since 2002, but don't quote me on that date, but at least in the past 10, 20 years, America, in terms of having graduating from university, I think between the ages of like 20 and 30, something like that, 18 and 30, something like that, has fallen from number 16, from number 2 in the world to number 16. The U.S. just seems to be priding itself in dumbing itself down and being a bigot. Okay. And Australia's like, oh my God, what are we gonna do if Donald Trump is elected? And then we all know that Italy and Spain has also been experiencing troubles with systemic racism. The black peoples there have also been complaining, hey, we're not getting representation in the workforce. There's hate crimes, you know, police brutality. In the UK, I talk about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle all the time. You know, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle flagged institutional racism in the UK, and they had to flee because of all of the nationalists who were threatening their lives and seemingly the monarchy standing by and doing nothing, and they had to move to the US. We see Netanyahu in Israel, you know, and we see the treatment of the black Israelites, who likely their genetic DNA is probably much closer related to those Israelites of Jesus' day than some of the fair-skinned Israelites. We see that same thing, persecution of the brown and black people in Israel. And what was the other one? In the U.S., you see what's going on. Australia, Italy, Spain, UK, and then Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage. So Nigel Farage came out and admitted that Brexit was a failure. The implications of Brexit right now are rough on the economy. Rough. Boris Johnson, who was rightly ousted and should have been ousted, who is Donald Trump light, but for the UK, who basically brought about Brexit to appease himself and his rich donors, his rich facilitators, and no consideration of the people, who basically drove the UK into the dire economic situation it's in right now with Brexit, with it being so ill-informed, you know, just basically founded on propaganda and stupid buses with his stupid face on it. He's now a contributor for the Daily Mail. And he was also invited to King Charles III's coronation. The same thing is happening in all these places that I just mentioned. In America, in the UK, in Australia, in Italy, in Spain, and even in the country I live in that I love so much, even to a lesser extent, it's happening here too in France. Why are the economies suffering? Why? I'll tell you why. It's because you cannot have a country that houses both whites and blacks and browns together legally as citizens, but you only give jobs and executive leadership and government roles to the whites. It doesn't sustain itself. Maybe it's PMS, but I just feel like I shouldn't have to be sitting here saying this to people. I feel like I don't really need to say much else. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're new to this channel, please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Bye! Bisous! Bye! Bye!